I made my first $1 million in profit in my early 20s sending direct mail to vacant landowners all across the country, and I'm going to share with you my exact strategies and my exact principles for doing multiple deals per month, and now getting into the point where I'm buying multi-million-dollar portfolios. Just simply using direct mail, mailing things to sellers I don't know, will never see in person, and mostly for properties that I'll never see in person as well. Now, over the last few years, I've developed my own strategies, my own principles for best practices of sending out mail to yield the best results. And I've helped many of my clients implement these exact same strategies. And the results that they've provided are multiple five-figure days, $20,000, $40,000 days, $100,000 days, multiple six-figure years, multiple six-figure profit spreads. The list goes on and on. And if you'd like, you can go through my community posts, you can go through my YouTube, you can see the results that we have produced for clients, and I'll put a few little screen caps in here as well. But today I'm going to share with you the 4 pillars for mastering direct mail, and this is something that many of my clients pay me tens and tens of thousands of dollars for, just to implement this into their business and make sure that they're able to really turn on a faucet of cash flow with their land flipping business from sending direct mail. Now, those 4 pillars are branding, great copy, framing, and problem identification. And over the course of this video, I'm going to break down those pillars so that you understand what they are, how we use them, and why we use them. Now, starting with pillar number 1, and that is branding. Branding is extremely important when it comes to sending your direct mail, and especially being in a time where people are sending mail left and right and they're using these regular old templates that have no branding, no focus on who the seller is, no focus on who the ideal client is, and no focus on the problem that these people might have. When you're not branding yourself as a company, well, that's already the first thing. You're not branding yourself as a company, and so what you look like is a scam to the people that open your letter. And even on top of that, most people don't even open your letter. You just stay in the pile of all the other junk mail that comes in. You need to make sure that you're standing out on top. When we send out mail, we're always looking to stand out on top. And I'll give you a few examples, just a few, not many, because my clients will be upset with me. But I'll give you a few examples of what we do to make sure that we're standing out amongst the rest of the mailers. Because tens of millions, if not billions, of letters are being exchanged through to these sellers on a monthly basis. And so if you're not standing out, that's why you're not getting any calls back. So we focus very heavily on branding, not just branding on the actual mailer, but branding on the envelope as well. What does the envelope look like? What kind of material is it? Who is this for? These are all things that we're thinking of, and how can we get them to open the mailer as quickly as possible to give us a call? These are all things that we're looking at. So we put things like, hey, this is time sensitive. Hey, give this an open now. So that way they think that they have to open this right now. They open it, they read it. It's got great copy, it's got great framing, and we identify their problems, so they give us a call. But that initial branding to say, hey, give us a call, we're a legitimate investment firm, as opposed to, hey, this is buy your land, quick cash for fast, or quick cash, fast. I see this a lot. USA, quick cash, quack, fast, quack, quack, quack. I see that all the time. You want to be a professional investment firm. You don't want to be a person that's a quick cash, fast, buy your house now, sell tomorrow. That's not realistic. And no one's going to take you seriously that way. The way that we brand ourselves as well is top of funnel branding. So when I say top of funnel branding, I mean the person that is most likely to be a lawyer, a doctor, someone that is a guarantor of a trust, someone that owns a large investment firm. I want this person to look at my letter, look at my mailer, look at the branding of it, and have some alignment with it based upon the things that they do. And so all the branding is very clean. All the branding is very focused on top of funnel kinds of people, because this is how you get bigger deals. When you focus on top of funnel kinds of people, when you focus on more sophisticated people, when you brand yourself to be more sophisticated as opposed to some run-of-the-mill land company that is the same as everyone else, well, then you stand out amongst the rest. You stand out as the 1%. So when you make yourself the 1%, you produce 1% results. And these are things that most people don't think about, which is why I get clients day in and day out that come to me and say, Man, I haven't gotten any calls on my mailer. And then I look at the mailer and then I see exactly why. No branding, no brand recognition, no attention to detail. You're not even thinking about how sellers see you when they open your letter. And these are things that you have to think about if you want to become a more sophisticated investor. If you want to become a person that makes over $1 million in profit flipping land, makes $1 million a year flipping land, this is what you need to become. You need to focus on your branding. Because when you focus on your branding as well, it also becomes much more about quality than it does about quantity. So now you're not worried about sending tens and tens and tens and thousands of mailers. Now it's like, well, I just have such a quality mailer that people are going to open it. People are going to call me, and then I'm going to get conversations out of that because people look at my branding, they align with how I present myself, how I present my company, and they want to work with me. So even further than this, we brand you. So we brand you as the authority. So when you brand yourself as the authority instead of, oh, let me talk to my finance manager or my finance department, whatever nonsense. Brand yourself as the authority from the beginning. So that way, when they call you, they know that I'm going to be talking to this person who is this position on the team. They already know. So you're giving them process even before they give you a call. When you start to do these things, you're creating a process for a seller that is really easy to just go through. So they're going to work with you over anyone else. This all has to do with building your land flipping brand. Now, when you tie that into also having a really good website and a website that's in alignment with the mailer that you're sending, you are beating everyone else. Bar none. You just beat everyone else because now everything is in alignment. So now I see your mailer. The mailer template looks great. You've got your logo on here. You've got QR code. You've got your headshot. And there are very specific things that I have people do with all three of those things that I just mentioned. But now I can go to your website and I'm going to be motivated to give you a call. That's the whole purpose of all this. For them to see your mailer template, believe that it's legitimate, go to your website, believe that it's legitimate, build some trust by looking at the website and then calling. We're able to get so much more deals because of our acquisition skills and how we talk to people. When you're doing that, when you have solid acquisition skills, all you really need is someone to call in. And you can figure up the rest. You can pick up the rest of the money along the way. Now, that's branding. Now, pillar 2 is having great copy. And when I say great copy, I mean it needs to be written extremely well. You can't be using these normal direct mail templates that you got online from here or there, and you can't use those because everyone is using those. And if everyone is using those, then the average seller probably has 12 of the same exact letter on their desk, which makes them feel like even more it's a scam. So with us, I'm constantly changing the copy of our mailer to make sure that it is speaking to specific people. Like I said, we're using language in there that is speaking to the most sophisticated kind of investor. So that way they can see it and be like, huh, you're speaking my exact language. So as an example, hi owner name, I'm the senior managing partner here at company name, and we're actively looking to deploy capital into land portfolios and assets like yours across select US markets, including county name. Your property caught our attention and I wanted to reach out to you directly. I want to reach out to you directly. As senior managing partner at this company, I want to reach out to you, right? I'm not even talking about any offer. I'm not saying in nowhere in there did I say quick cash fast and I can do this for you and I can do that for you. You don't want to sound like a car salesman. You want to sound like an investor. When you sound like an investor, you're going to open the conversation. The whole point is to open the conversation and identify the problem from there. This is what people miss. The problem is not you finding hot leads. Where this starts is you getting leads in, talking to people, figuring out their issues, and figuring out how to provide the solution to those exact issues. If you're considering a 1031 exchange, looking to reallocate capital into a larger play, or navigating a financial restructuring, we work with sellers in all of these scenarios and help them exit smoothly, quietly, quickly, and on favorable terms. We're a direct capital group, no brokers, no financing delays. We close discreetly and efficiently. If there's any interest on your end, Let's chat. I'm happy to present terms and discuss an agreement. Now, you see what I did there? I didn't force anything. I didn't push anything. I didn't say you should do this. I just said, hey, if this is you, I'm identifying your problem. Let's have a conversation. The whole point of these are to get conversations, especially if you want to be in a situation where you're doing larger deals. You see me posting six-figure profit spreads. You see clients posting six-figure profit spreads. Well, this is what we're doing to do that. If you want to be doing big deals, you have to be able to reach people that own big assets. And if you can't reach people that own big assets, then you're going to be stuck playing in the singles and doubles all day. You're going to be stuck in the $10, $15, $20,000 profit range. You'll never ascend beyond that. And if you do, it'll be luck. Me doing larger deals is not luck, it's calculated and predicted. I know when it's going to happen, I know why it's going to happen, and it's because I track this data. It's because I focus on the pillars of direct mail mastery. Now, pillar number 3 is framing. How do you frame your mailers? How do you frame the way they're written? And are you thinking about who's opening it? Are you sending the mail to the woman who's way behind on her back taxes and has no money and will lose her house tomorrow if she doesn't sell this property? Or are you speaking to the person who has a larger portfolio, needs a 1031 exchange, or maybe is facing bankruptcy, maybe has cash? Or are you talking to the hunter who is too old to hunt on his property? Who are you talking to? It's all about how you frame it. And depending on the market that you're in, I actually frame my mailers differently. I write them differently. It's not always just one template. So if I'm going after specific hunting land in a certain county and I'm looking for a specific asset, then I'm going to frame that in a certain way and a different way than, let's say I'm going after a portfolio of anywhere from 5 to 15 properties. It's framed differently. The value proposition is different. Even though it's the same, the way that you write it is a little bit different. So as you guys saw before in my last example, that was framing. So when I said earlier about if you're facing bankruptcy, 1031 exchange, if these are things that you're dealing with, give us a call. So in those two things, which ties into pillar 4 as well, but that's problem identification and that's also framing in one. And I do this all by split testing. And if you're watching this video and you're confused and you're like, what are you talking about? I've never heard this before. This is crazy. Book a strategy call me below. I'd be happy to help you put this into your business and skyrocket your results. If you're a person that's not getting any calls, if you're not having as many conversations as you want to have, if you're not closing as many deals as you want to close, if you started the year saying that you were going to make millions of dollars by the end of the year, now we're in June almost, and you're like, I'm not even close. Book a strategy call me below. I'll help you get there by putting this into your business. Before I move on to pillar 4, you can see that all 3 of these pillars have a heavy focus on who the person opening the mailer template is. Who are they? What are their motivations? How do they speak? What problems can they be facing? And what's the goal for me out of this mailer? Any single time that I send out a mailer, I always assess a goal. Is the goal to make 100 grand? 200 grand, a million, what is the goal? And we take our market selection strategy and we put that into our mailer and we send the mail. But each and every time you send out a mailer, you should have a very specific goal of what you want to come out of it, what kind of property type, because then you can use these pillars to your advantage. You can brand it a certain way, you can write it a certain way, and you can frame it a certain way, which leads me into pillar 4. What problems is the average seller having? Is it back taxes, 1031 exchange? Is it divorce? Have they never seen the property before? All these problems are things that we speak to in our mailer. So that way it's speaking to them. So if you're a person that just got a divorce and I say, we've helped clients that have gotten divorces liquidate their properties, well then you're going to be like, oh, this is for me. So you have to be able to speak to your sellers with the problems that they have. Because the other thing too is they'll call you and tell you, yeah, this is my problem. And so you don't even have to go through the trouble of identifying the problem in speaking with them. So identifying the problems that a seller is having in your marketing template, it'll allow you to speak to them in a way that will get them to call you. And the whole purpose of all of this is to get as many calls in as possible. Now, the last thing that's extremely important is your tracking and the consistency. You have to use reference numbers to track your mailer templates, especially if you're going to be split testing between these different things. If you're going to be split testing for the ones that have the best results. So I'm always tracking conversations had and cash collected from different mailer templates. So if we had more cash collected on a certain type of mailer template versus another, well, I'm going to double down on the one that collected more cash. Now, when it comes to consistency, there's a big conundrum in the land investing market where people will just send out 12 or 15,000 mailers at once, get all excited, throw their hands in the air, kick back, and try to make this like some passive income business. Land flipping is not a passive income business. It is not. Can you get it to the point where you're making very good money? A few $100,000 a year profit, $1 million a year profit, working a few hours a week? Yes. I mean, in my business right now, we're able to close multiple deals per month, and I probably only work on my land flipping business 2 to 3 hours a week, but that's after a lot of hard work. So if you're just starting out, you want to send mail consistently. Don't do this thing where you think it's going to be some passive income business. You're going to send out mail one time and you're going to make $1 million. That's not going to happen. So whatever mail that you're going to send, make sure you can send that mail for anywhere from 6 to 8 months consistently. And not only that, but you need to send it out week by week by week. Because as you send this mail out week by week and as you're tracking everything, this snowball effect starts to happen where leads just start rolling in, people just start calling you. And as you serve more clients, as you close more sellers, as you do more deals, you just build more proof. So then you can tell sellers and clients, hey, we actually just work with this person. We just work with that person. We helped them with this. The biggest thing with all of this to remember is to build trust with your sellers. When you build trust with your sellers, they will talk to you about their problems and you'll be able to solve them a lot easier. But when you do this thing where you just take a template from the internet, you have no strategy, you have no consistency, you have no branding, you have no good website, you have no call to action on your website. When you don't have any of those things, well, this is why you're not doing any deals, because I'm doing it. Your competition is doing it. And if you want to be a person that is consistently doing deals month over month, year over year, and scaling your business to multiple 6 figures in profit, all the way up to $1 million or more in profit, book a strategy, call me below. I'll help you implement this into your business and build it to the point where you are pretty much hands off in your land flipping business in the next 18 months. Now, if you're implementing any of these strategies into your business right now, go ahead and drop me a comment. And if you're not, drop me a comment as well and tell me what helped you out. And remember the 4 pillars of making your first $1 million flipping land through direct mail. And those are branding, great copy, framing, and problem identification. I'll see you in the next video.